Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Almost Martha. And today I'm getting ready for a picnic. I'm going on a picnic tomorrow, and I'm putting together, foods that are easy to carry and eat with your hands. And one of those things is going to be Blondies. This is a childhood favorite. This is a recipe from Mom. Hi, Mom. So today we're going to make blonde brownies, or blondies as we called them. Super easy and super good. So hold on, let's go. All right, I've assembled a lot of ingredients here, but one of the things that makes these blondies so terrific is they're so soft. They're so soft. They can be a little crunchy at the corners on the outside, but the inside is really soft. And I think that has a lot to do with using melted butter in the recipe. You don't have to let this butter sit out because we're going to melt this butter. And this is 1 stick of unsalted butter, and I have 1 stick of salted butter. So today I'm using the unsalted butter is French butter, and the salted butter is Irish butter. I sure hope they get along. I hope they get along. Let me just make sure I get all of this right in my pan. We're going to melt this on a low heat. We don't want to necessarily brown it. Sometimes you want brown butter, sometimes you don't. So now we're just going to gently melt this butter. This is going to make for a really soft brownie. So this is going to be a big help to our final product. So I'm just going to melt this butter. Be right back. I've melted my butter on very low heat, and I'm just going to put it right into my mixing bowl. Butter. Now I'm going to add the sugar. So it's 2 cups of brown sugar. Brown sugar is always lightly packed. Even if they don't say so in the recipe, you can always rest assured they mean lightly packed. And by that means you're going to sort of pack it down into the cup, but not super hard. Just pack it down enough, and that's it. I know that is not a terrific explanation, but once you do it a couple times, you'll get it. Usually you'll see lightly packed brown sugar. This recipe I must have gotten from my mom, like verbally, and I put it in a little app, and there's like no directions. List of ingredients, and then it's like mix and bake, and it's like, okay, I hope I remember how to do this. All right, so we have mixed our butter and our sugar, and now we're just going to let this cool down a minute because we're going to be adding eggs and stuff in there. We don't want the eggs to cook, so let's just let this cool down for a few minutes right before we get to our next step. So I'm just going to put this to the side. We also have 2 cups of flour, and to that flour we are going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder. So baking powder, this has both powder and soda in it. So 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And we have salt. So in my mom's recipe, it just says salt, just salt. And I know that it's Morton's table salt. But I'm really getting into this diamond crystal baking salt. And to swap it out, it's almost 2 to 1. 2 to 1 more of the diamond crystal than the table salt. The table salt's much saltier. The grains are bigger, all that stuff. So I have This calls for a half a teaspoon of salt. I know it's table salt, and I'm adding almost a full teaspoon of diamond crystal because it takes a little more of diamond crystal. And I'm also adding, let's see here, a quarter teaspoon of pure baking soda. And that goes right in there. So this has baking powder and baking soda in it. Just going to mix it up in my flour. And I'll be ready to go with that. Now, as soon as our sugar is cooled, then we're going to add eggs. So we need 2 eggs, which I've already broken into a bowl here. And we will start with that as soon as this is really nice and cool. I'm just going to beat the eggs just a little bit. And I'm using the vanilla bean paste. So it's about 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And you know I like vanilla. So the vanilla bean paste is a little, a little more vanilla-y, but I also will just tweak up that a little bit. That's probably about 1.5 teaspoons, 1.75 teaspoons. But it's good stuff. It's good stuff. So I'm just going to mix that in. Okay, now I'm going to add my eggs. It's still slightly warm, but it's not going to cook these eggs, so I can go ahead and put it in. Mix that in. Sugar's a bit of a blob, so mix it in as best you can. There we go. If you see big hunks of that brown sugar, just kind of mash them out so it's nice and smooth. You don't want to over mix this, but at this point you're really not. This is almost like pre-batter here. Okay, get those lumps out. You can even pick them up with your fingers and kind of crush them if you need to as well. Okay, now we just add our flour mixture. I'm going to add a little bit at a time. So easy, so easy. And this just don't go whipping in here. Flour will just go everywhere. So just kind of put your flour in, just move a little carefully so you don't get covered in it. Scrape down those sides. I made these a lot when I was growing up. We loved them. I think we made them more than we made chocolate brownies, to be honest with you. But there's one thing to remember about these brownies. Like in my recipe, in all caps, like big letters, it's like, do not overbake. Do not overbake. So that's our challenge. Don't overbake these because you want these, that nice and creamy center. It's what makes it so fabulous. Okay, I don't want to overwork this. I'm going to add semi-sweet chips. And I got the Ghirardelli. Oh, Ghirardelli's really good. Melts a little nicer, tastes a little better. It's really good stuff. I always think it's really worth it to just buy the better ingredients. When you get down to it, it might be $1 or $2 at the end of the day. That's a little extra that you've spent for good butter, or good chocolate, good vanilla. But the difference that it makes in your recipes is really worth it. So something to consider. You know, if you buy chocolate chips that aren't real chocolate, you can tell a difference. It doesn't taste the same. So something to remember. Okay. There are times to economize, and then there are times where it's best not to. Be right back. Very quickly, I'm just going to take some Pam. I'm using butter Pam, and I'm just going to, I know there's already a lot of butter in there, but just to keep it from sticking, just lightly spray your pan. This is the 13 by 9 pan, and we're just going to put our batter in here. You know, there was no indication in the recipe that I'm following of, you know, how big of a pan to use. So in my mind's eye, I remembered a 13 by 9. I did sort of verify it by looking at some other versions. And there are lots of versions out there, but this is the version that speaks to my heart. So that's what we're making. And just spread it out in the pan. It'll do some spreading once it starts baking as well. And hopefully it'll do some rising because we've got 2 rising agents in there. So it will be good and nice and chocolatey. Ooh, look at all those chocolate chips. Wow, that looks good. Okay, just spread it out. And we're going to bake it. Now let's just see. This has baked 20 to 25 minutes. And do not overbake. It's the key to everything, right? Don't overbake it. Don't overcook your scrambled eggs. That's the secret to good scrambled eggs. Don't overcook them. That's it. It's not putting creme fraiche in there. It's not putting heavy cream. It's just don't overdo them. So now baking, that's tough. You want it done enough, but you don't want it underbaked, but you don't want it overbaked either. So I look at these measurements, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is, and I just start checking on it a bit earlier just in case. So I'm going to start looking at this at about 15 minutes in, and then we'll see where we are. So right into the oven. The oven is set at about 350, and I'm going to check this in 15 minutes and see where we are. Okay. I don't think I overbaked it. I really tried, Mom. I've been checking on it, you know, every little while. So I'm just going to put a knife in. And the knife comes out clean except for chocolate, which is going to happen. I don't know that I can find a spot in this thing that doesn't have chocolate. But knife looks clean. I think it's done. Lord knows we don't want to overbake it. So now I'm just going to let it cool and then we'll taste it. Moment of truth. It's the moment of truth. So I'm going to, oh, nice. Completely cooled. So that's going to make cutting them so much easier. Okay, I'm going to pull it out. Oh, very nice. Oh yeah. Okay, we did good. We did good, Mom. Okay, I'm gonna take a bite. Mmm. 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 That's really good. That's really good. Not overbaked. Yahoo! Really, really good. This is going to be a highlight of the picnic, I am sure. So if you want my mom's recipe, you can just go to almost-martha.com And you'll find that recipe, all the other recipes that I've done. And if you like the stuff that you see there, you can also subscribe to the videos on YouTube, Almost Martha 21 on YouTube, and then you'll get them as they drop. And I might find some good things there. So thanks for coming by today. Thanks, Mom, for the recipe. I'm sure the world's going to love them. And they really did. They really did turn out nicely. But don't overbake. Don't overbake. Don't, whatever you do, don't overbake. Because that's what makes them nice and creamy and delicious. And oh yeah, these are really good. And I'm going to eat this just as soon as we say goodbye. So come back next time. Join us right here at Almost Martha. We'll see you next time. Okay, bye.